Hello, 1 2 3. Hello, 1 2 3. Hello, just trying to make sure that everything's working fine. I just realized that for some reason I uninstalled Twitch from my phone, so now I can't see. Or at least I don't want to be. It's making a bit of conflict. I have Twitch on browser and as well on my plus and stream, so this might take a tiny bit of some time. I just need to make sure that the volumes can work fine. I mean, I don't know how high it sounds, so a bit of an issue. So just in a moment. Gosh. Hell. Yeah, I am live. Hold on. Okay, I've been live for like 5 minutes now. Fuck, I don't like how much it's. Maybe I need to just. Hello, 1 2 3. What if I scream? Ha! Why does it? Maybe if I kind of whisper. And the thing's not working. Okay, sorry. Sometimes it seems to be the gate seems to be kind of making my voice just fade out way too early when it shouldn't. Oh well. I mean, this is a. I gotta say this. Okay, it's been such a long time since I've done a single stream in like. I mean, I'm not even sure how long it's been at this point. Well, I mean, it's been I think I did one last year, but that was at the start of the year. Like at the start of the of last year. At the start of last year, I did a stream, I think, and afterwards I did nothing. So I guess, goodness my, it's been far too long. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure that everything's kind of working fine. I need to just bring. Okay. Oh really? Never mind. Okay. So I think in a moment or so I'm gonna start. Just I just really want to make sure that this is working because it's what I mean that of what should be working is the overlay. So the oh whoa, somebody just who was that again? Sorry, um somebody just joined TP TFTPQB. Oh my god, you have a really bizarre name. Right, thank you so much for following. I mean, I'm not sure why you followed, but I was just starting. I'm not doing anything yet. However, I was just about to explain. So welcome. What I was about to explain was this stream is basically a sort of comeback stream, and as well a stream to basically show a bit of the progress on my game. Now, if I just take, I just want to make sure that's working. No, cancel. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So in a moment, I think, to be honest, in a moment or so, I'm gonna remove the overlay. I don't think it's. I'll see if it works. If it doesn't work, I mean, from what can I see, it kind of just looks a bit too much. Maybe again, this is a comeback. I've been away for a long time. So what I need to make sure is just that everything that I had is kind of working fine for now, and then I'm gonna basically just start changing some stuff. So for example, the like big overlay that I have. I mean this with the big overlay. I mean this thing. This I feel like it's. I made it a long time ago, so I feel like it needs to be. Oh, there it is. Okay, now it's working. What it's supposed to do is that it's supposed to like. It's supposed to scroll each time that it the text is supposed to scroll. Oh yeah, now think about it. There's supposed to be some text at the bottom as well. So let me just quickly change that because it's not that important, but at the same time, it's good to have it. It's for the music that's playing at the current moment. So if I save. Okay, there we go. Great. Now it's working. Alright. Okay. And I think the music could go just a tiny bit higher. Or maybe not. Alright. Okay, so welcome. For the future, if anyone's going to be watching this, So, all right, hold up. So, if you can see the screen, yeah, seen. Gosh. Okay, so I guess first of all, thank you very much for I think I'll just call you Sia because everything goes TF. Hold up, is TFTPQB Sia? Bizia, I guess. I'll call you Bizia. Or Sia, whatever. Sorry, it's just you have a very, very complicated name to say. So I don't know if maybe you're still watching. No, no, it seems to be just me for the moment, but somebody followed, which is great. So I'll be here just. See. Never mind. Right, been been already live for more than 10 minutes. I need to make sure that everything's done. Okay, first of all, so this is my game. It's called Gularan. Just to quickly explain what Gularan means, it really doesn't mean anything. In truth, all that it is gula and ran. Gula, meaning gluttony in Spanish, and run, as in running, as in the verb to run. And that's only because I wanted it to basically. I wanted it to to always sound like Gula Run, but I wanted it to sound whether you're reading it in English or in Spanish. So the issue became, oh, well, what can I do? How can I, work? So I decided to basically just make it so that it would be read phonetically in Spanish. So you can pronounce it Gularan or Gularan in Spanish as well. So we got that. Now, so to quickly explain what Gularan is, it's a 2D platformer. If I and I actually have a. Oops, sorry, careful. There. I need to have. So, Gularan is a 2D platformer, action platformer, in which it has some roguelike elements, specifically with the whole progressing until you die, and then by doing so, you start to get some progress and unlockables, and then those unlockables stay with you as you progress with the game. So that sort of roguelike. It's as well a bit of a collective one, as that's more or less the main mechanic. The main mechanic is about collecting ingredients, or basically all these. Basically, these will act as items that give you power, and that give you just they can give you a small increase to your powers, or to your character. But sorry, I'm being very bad at pitching the game. Sorry, it's been a long time since I've been doing any of this any streaming or any sort of, I guess, public speaking. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm just trying to bring something forward. No, not there. Sorry. Okay, there we go. So okay. Yeah, 2D is a 2D. What? Gularon is a 2D colorful action platform side scroller with roguelike elements and Metroidvania elements. Collect ingredients and explore before you run out of time. Basically, I think this that short description explains it better than when I tried. To go a bit more in depth, so first of all, from what you can see, it's meant to be a yeah. So this is one of the levels like fully loaded. It's 2D, it's pixel art, but as well some of the elements are kind of just drawn in less pixely and more just like painted. Mainly because I just couldn't make it all look pixelated and look good, as well because that would take much longer. So I decided to do a sort of like a bit of I guess it's somewhat intentional, in which everything that looks kind of painted like this. So everything that looks kind of painted, like the background, that's all background. That's all things that are not interactable, and all that's pixelated and clearly pixel art. That's all something that you can actually interact with. So I'll try to make it a bit more obvious as I keep on updating and making improving onto the game. Now, let's see. Now, whereabouts I am with the game. Here's the deal. The game, and if I get off here, there. The game right now, it's more or less extremely unfinished. There isn't even any actual Metroidvania mechanics yet. Somewhat. All that it is this. You just have the tutorial level, a HUD, and 2 levels. And even then, one of the main mechanics or kind of one of the main features of the game is that the levels are procedurally generated, kind of. All that I did was basically I handmade and I hand designed all the levels. And each of the levels have 3 sections. So you see here, this works as section 1, section 2, section 3. And each of them can connect to each other, and they make it so that basically there's 2 versions of each section. So there's version 1 and there's version 2 for now. For this level, that's finished. It's just that it needs to be worked on to a bit more, because for now, exploring this, because each area has a bit of basically a theme or a thing that I need to focus on. So if I go back a little bit, you will see that here I have an unfinished area, and here I have another unfinished area. This other area here is almost finished. I need to just finish off the second versions of each section, and then it will be finished. This is the playing area, the level area, because at the very end, right here, this would be where basically the level boss would be. But for now there is no boss, and I need to work on to implementing that. So if I stop the music, because the game does have music. However, it's it's not it's provisional music. It's music that I've put on to the game just to basically kind of bring the sort of feel and the sort of themes that I would want to in the future create and then implement. I've been looking into a DAW or a digital. What was it? DAW means it's the acronym for digital audio workspace. Was it? Which basically is just what people use to create music. Uh, the one that I've been using is, I think it's BandLab. No, it's not BandLab. Is where is it? No, 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 no. Sorry, I had to just quickly tend to something else. So it doesn't matter about the DAW. The thing is, I'm learning to basically create my own music. It's been very rigorous. It's been very difficult because um, I mean, I did do GCSE music, or a bit. I did a BTEC in music. I know how to play a violin. I know rhythms. I know some music theory, not much. It my knowledge of music is very basic. So I need to kind of one. I need to learn how to read music sheets. Now I do know how to read them for a violin. I just don't know how to read them for a piano. So that's a bit of an issue that I need to learn and overcome. But anyway, the major thing is I do have music. It's just it's not the music that I'm gonna stick with because it's all Toho music, and of course it's all copyrighted, and it's just provisional. I do want to change it, and I'm making it very obvious that that music is not made by me. It's all owned by Team Shanghai Alice, all created by Sun. So um, okay. So first of all, yeah, I've. Oh, hold up. I don't like it to at least. Wait, would it? Okay, it does play it well. Hold up. If I play it in another viewport in selected window, it's gonna. Yeah, it's not gonna be visible at all. Nah, that's gonna. Oh, wait. Oh, oh, it was visible. Never mind then. No, I'm just sorry. It's just I'm just checking on the stream. Yeah, it is visible. Okay, so this is how my games looks. Now, first of all that it is that you have play, continue, and options and quit. Now, play self-explanatory. You will just start playing the game. If the way that it's meant to go is that if you start from play, it's meant to be like a sort of like full-on wipe. So like a full-on start from the very beginning. So you will start the game with a starting cutscene. You will start from the tutorial area, and you will start from the and that's it. You will basically have a full-on, very fresh start of the game, with the continue being available after you finish the tutorial, which is basically just a simple continue on to the game, which you will always continue and be here in the harbor. But to make sure, to menu, I'm going to play. Now, when you go into play, I want it to be so that you immediately get a cutscene showing the start of the game, so showing showing all the all the story of the game, what's happening. So all of that, at least some of it, is explained here. The only thing is, of course, you're not here to read unless you're playing a visual novel. But essentially, all that it is with Gula Run is basically I had this idea, at least I had this, or the original idea for Gula Run was basically came from playing two games, which was Dead Cells and Dead Cells by Twin Twin Winds or something, Twin Winds, and by and Atomic Crops by Bird Baths. Now, the idea came from basically making a 2D action platformer, side scroller, in which instead all of your upgrades and all of your like powering up comes from not, for example, in in Dead Cells, I like a lot the combat, but I do think that at least the way that you power up yourself is via scrolls that you have to pick up and that are randomly placed on the levels as the game is procedurally generated, and you choose on which levels you go on to next. So that's the thing that I kind of sort of took from Dead Cells. Um, and then from Atomic Crops, I took that in that game you can actually choose a lot of small. Um, you can choose from a lot of like perks. It's kind of a perk system, so you can choose from various abilities and perks apart from as well the weapons. Um, and you can have a ton of them. And I actually kind of liked the feeling of just seeing how many of these abilities and things that are on the background. So most of them seem to be or either a simple increase in which a simple start increase in which you get more damage or you get more speed or you just get a simple attack or you basically just have a simple stat increase. You then have a sort of activation type in which basically it will only do an effect if you if something happens. So for example, there's one that increases your damage or it gives you more items when you get hit, something like that. And then there's another one in which is more or less like situational, in which basically certain conditions need to be activated. Or no, oh sorry, oh god, I'm getting so confused. Sorry. You have a stat increase, then you have a background effect in which all that it is just an effect that happens in the background and that you don't have any control over it, but it's just a simple power up that's rather than increasing your damage or speed or whatever, it just gives you a background effect. And then you have an activational one or a conditional one in which basically it activates upon meeting specific conditions. For example, if you get hit, or if you kill something, or if you pick up something, yada yada. Right? So there's three types. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be really cool? Because the way that it works is that you can only pick up one of these types. So there's only one for each of this increase of this uh, power ups. But the problem is this. Oh gosh, I think the stream may have fallen. Oh no. I hope it's just my Wi-Fi. Well, if it's my Wi-Fi, then yeah, the stream did fall. Hold up. Maybe I should stop using Wi-Fi. Hold up. Let's see. Oh no, maybe the Wi-Fi did fall. Oof, gosh. No, yeah, my connection doesn't look good. Oh god. Hold up. I think. Sorry. Okay, I think it's all right. Okay. So what I was saying is you can only pick up one of each, and I do think okay, it makes sense because honestly, you start to get a lot of them at the end. However, what I thought is because I kind of you have your little menu, and you see all of the increases of to all the increases to your all of these stat increases to your character. You're like, yeah, that kind of made me feel quite good about it. I don't know how to explain it, but I liked how, you have an empty menu at the very beginning, and then you have all of these massive start increases or all of these effects that are just uh, happening all in tandem. It makes you feel powerful, and I felt like I wanted to kind of bring that feeling more to the forefront, So I decided to basically make it so that that's more or less the main mechanic. That's the main thing that people are gonna be looking for to increase their power. They're gonna have to search for as many ingredients for my game, as many ingredients as possible, and collect them. And each of those ingredients have their own type. They have their own effects, and the more that you collect of each, the more that you get that you increase that one effect. So I was thinking, so how can I make it so that you could heal in a more so that you could have a bit of a challenge? So I took again a bit of inspiration from Atomic Crops, where now basically all that it works is that in Atomic Crops you have to heal by using the same mechanics that you have in the game. You basically grow out your own hit points and then collect them once they have fully grown as a crop, and then you heal. However, I was thinking, how could I make it so that it kind of works well with what I've been, this ingredient mechanic? And that's when it hit me. It's food, so you could just basically eat the food that you have available, and that's when because it's food, right? And it's magical food, so it should heal you. So then I decided, and that's when it became obvious, that games need to be in a hit point system, similar to similar to Atomic Crops, and each point is each point is just one single hit, and if you get and each ingredient can only heal you for one hit point each. So with that, I thought, okay, great, let's keep on going. So of course, if you eat one of those to heal, then that destroys that item and you can no longer use it. Perfect. That makes sense. Or basically, that destroys that item, meaning that it can no longer be of any use to you. So that's where more or less the main mechanic of Gularan kind of came from. Now, why is it with a little witch and it's all magic? I just thought I kind of was looking at things that were kind of more marketable, and the reason why I went for a little witch was basically magical girls. Very bizarre, I know, but I do have some like bizarre appreciation for all media that is focused towards children in one way or another, and something that many people seem to be kind of like dismissive of, or kind of not really appreciative enough of, is magical girls. I felt. I mean, they have their own fandom, yes, but I mean, I don't think many people tend to think of magical girls nowadays, especially adults. Makes sense. You know, it's not something that's focusing on them in the end of the day. So, but my point being, because as someone who kind of more or less looks at as someone who likes to always focus on more horror media and more things that are kind of a bit niche in the sense of that they tend to not really be that marketable for everyone. So I wanted to make it so that I wanted to make a game that instead focused on everyone and making it so that it's more or less family friendly, something that everyone can enjoy, whether it's your mom, your dad, your little children. Yeah, I at at the very start, it did kind of started as a bit of a kind of Made in Abyss inspired, just very minorly, not too much, if you know what I mean. Just basically, you know, a sort of it looks very cute on the outside, or no, actually, like kind of Happy Tree Friends. Yeah, kind of like Happy Tree Friends in that it looks very like you know, good for children. It's fine if you show it for them, or it looks like that, and then it suddenly just goes all off the rails, and it's clearly not for children out of nowhere. You know, kind of like that. I wanted to be somewhat like that, so an inspiration for that was a game called Heart of Darkness, in which it looks very child friendly. However, for some reason, the, for some reason, if you've seen, hold up, I actually do have to show you this because it's kind of insane. Sorry, but basically, Heart of Darkness is a game uh, made a long time ago, and it's a platform. It's a game that originally was made for, I can't remember, it was for a Nintendo console, but I can't remember. No, it was for the PlayStation. Okay, never mind. But it was for the PlayStation, and is not that famous. However, it is famous for something. It's famous for just one thing. And if I just show you really quickly, um, it's the, I guess, the game overs, one could say. That's its claim to fame. I mean, it would be like, well, why are the game overs so famous? Well, you're just gonna see that in a moment. So I've got this video from Joseph Strang. Okay. Oh gosh. Got this video from Joseph Strang. Oh gosh. No, hold up. That doesn't. Mm, hold up. Uh, how could I crop? Ah, you know, I need to just show you this really quickly, anyways. Yeah. So okay, that looked tame. Okay, that looked tame. Oh, sorry. However, that was a death screen. Okay. So and if you know, in this game you can fall, you can get grabbed by enemies, and you'll just see what happens if that happens. Not sure if you can hear that. Hold up. Oh no, I think that. Oh god, this stream fall. Oh gosh, I. So I'm kind of running a bit out of time. But hold on, hold on, hold on. I think the stream might have fallen. Okay, yeah, it's doing okay. Stream. Yeah, okay. So you can. So here is why basically the game is so popular, or no? Here is the game's main claim to fame, and it's the deaths. Because whilst this looks kind of fairly tame, yeah, I mean the kid kind of just falls to his death, and it's not really that tame, but you'll see in a moment that they can get far more outrageous in a moment or so. And it's mainly when it involves other. The kid just drowns in a somewhat realistic manner. He should float out. That's what happens when people drown. It just gets destroyed. God, you can. And here's the thing, like, what makes it so great is that there's so many variations of how you can get, killed. Specifically, for example, you can be crushed, you can be mauled, you can be burned, and it changes as well. Sorry, and it changes as well on. It's pretty brutal as well. Like, there's it. Dear God, poor kid. And by the way, oh yeah, it just got. Oh God, it's just. Oh gosh, because that's. Yeah. Hey, look at that. So that's another reason for why this game is so infamous. It's not as well the death scenes, which are very dark and quite um, awful, very extreme, but as well very impactful because of how everything's so well animated and so fluid. Gosh, I wish they made more games like that. Wink, wink. Um, but it's as well because the game it it's as well because the game was very difficult, and it's basically that sort of arcade difficult. You could say Dead Souls difficult in the sense that nothing's really that explained to you. There is something actually that kind of that I'm gonna take some inspiration from, and it's this black lizard that you see right here. I'll show you in a minute. You see this? This is actually part of the tutorial, which weirdly enough, this tutorial comes like a good few minutes into the game. By this point, you have already died a couple of times. I can tell you that. Um, but basically, I kind of wanted to make my game sort of like this, and that's when I realized, oh, no, I'm starting to kind of add a bit of my dark humor way too much, and I need to kind of focus on to making it more. basically I need to stay on the straight and narrow, and at most I just need to add on some, at least if I am to add some dark elements to the game, I do want to add them to be more subtle. Oh, sorry, they're kind of late, to make it more subtle and more emotional rather than just visceral. So, in a moment. Okay. What was it? Oh, I was supposed to have a timer just to tell me when about it was time to finish. I want to finish in an hour. I'm almost there. I need to make sure that I'm done in a moment or so. I have 50 minutes left, or 15, well, less. I have less than 15 minutes left. I think I can explain everything in a moment or so. But basically, I decided to kind of just focus more into what it is that I wanted to focus was just instead of all of this, brutality, I wanted and horror. I wanted to make it more colorful, more vibrant, more alive, and more interesting than just your usual horror game that I tended to make. So we ended with this. Right, so for now, the game doesn't have any sound effects. I'm going to be working on that. There are various elements and various mechanics that I'm going to quickly explain right here. So one, you have your standard, climb up you have your standard, one-way platformers, which, to be honest, they gave me a bit of a headache in the past. I have a very simple mechanic in which basically, and I took this from, and I actually took this from what's the, I took this from, gosh, Dead Cells, sorry. My mind went blank for a moment there. I took this idea from Dead Cells, which basically you can, if you, so basically you can normally just jump twice, and if you can just more or less reach just below, so around here is kind of max. But if I jump again, even if I per se I do a very short jump, so if I jump twice here, as you can see, I cannot reach. Same here, I cannot reach. However, as you can see, I reach, and the way that I did this is basically by the game being able to just, or the character being able to tell when they're overlapping a it's just a ray trace or a capture trace, because I made this in Unreal Engine, which you can see right there. Basically, it just does a capture trace each time that whenever the player is rising, and if they are rising and they're colliding on a platform, then they will just basically jump again and rise. I think I might change this so that it instead takes a point above because for now it's jump, and as you can see here, sometimes it might jump way too high. Plus, as well, if you see it right here, your jump can actually change, because I'm using a jump, and as well something else that's also using a jump. It could fuck me over a bit. So if I showed you right here, I also added this other mechanic in which basically you can, it's as well from Dead Cells, in which basically, and I'll just show you when we go back to that. As you can see here, each time that if I'm right here, I cannot climb it. So as long as it's something that it's more or less below your head, you cannot climb it. But the problem is this: as you can see here, the character the character is jumping rather than climbing it up. So I need to kind of just make sure that instead of jumping, she does something else. Now, oh, this is another mechanic which is from another game that I took influence from. So for example, if I just showed you here, and this is one of the ingredients. So if you saw right here, she's now jumping higher. And that's because the gum is making it so that she jumps higher. And that's what I want to do. She now can jump a lot higher. And she might even be able to she almost reaches by just getting one. So if you see right here, you go to the menu, increases your jump height by 10. And this is stackable. So if I get another gum rubber, then I will jump even more high. Now, as you can see, even with that, I'm still not able to get up or get to the other side. However, I have this, a broom. Yeah? Now, it's a very simple mechanic. It's just simple dash forward. However, rather than being a dash forward, it's just a simple dodge. It works more like an actual dash in the sense that you dash forward. So it's not a dodge roll like that. It's a full-on, very momentary flight. And if you see right here, you can use this flight to go across some very specific elements in the environment. And here is me kind of explaining a bit better the mechanic. So if I do this, yeah. Oh, would you look at that? I have. Oh, I think I now remember. I think I was testing out the gum rubber, and I set it so that it's always your rogue is gonna get gum rubber here. I need to change that. I'll do that in a moment. As you can see already. Now, I did want to make the change in effect of the effects a bit more gradual. So as you can see, she can already get up pretty high from just having 2. I think it's not 10%. I think the gum rubber for now is giving you more than 10%. Wow, gosh, she can really reach. Oh, and the Coco. So this one, yeah, increasing your dash distance by 1 meter. The issue with this one, and yeah, there's an issue. Basically, I wanted it to be so that the speed at which you dash, or the speed at which you fly, and the speed at which and the distance, I wanted them to be different. So if per se, so for example, this one, although it increases your distance, but it shouldn't affect how fast you go, but it does. And I wanted to change it. But I haven't been able to find a way to achieve it yet, so yeah, it's been kind of difficult. Oh yeah. Oh, if I show you right here, or that. Would you look at that? Now, here is one of the mechanics that I took from another game, which is Blasphemous, and it's basically a simple walking mechanic that is meant to be used in tandem to be a wall jump mechanic. And I took this from Dead Cells, not from Blasphemous, sorry. And now I wanted it so that the player would basically be able to jump, similarly to a wall jump, similarly to Dead Cells. But it didn't work. I couldn't make it work. So in the end, I decided to go with this, and I think this is going to work better in the long run, and you'll see why. But okay. So you can see here, it's basically explaining the battle or the. So the idea is that as you get more ingredients, these ingredients will affect, what your attacks do. So for example, I had an idea, or for now this is an idea, but I'll see how can I work this further. For now, all the ingredients that I have are stat increases, and none of them are background effects. So for example, the shot would make it so that if it hits, an ingredient would make it so that your shot could freeze your enemies for a while, or maybe set them on fire, or make it so that your broom hit instead has a secondary effect, or maybe so that your first attack has another effect and your second attack has another effect. I'm trying to make it so that it all works fine, because if not, it's gonna work really difficult. It's all gonna be kind of rough, and I don't want it to be that. Hey, there we go. Oh yeah, she has as well another thing that I did from Blasphemous is actually a parry mechanic, in which ouch. Yeah. There we go. So as you can see, we do have some enemies. Hey, that looks very interesting. Okay, this one's the most interesting. There we go. So those are the three, I guess, basic enemies that we'll be encountering mostly. And here's just, showing, for example, here, you see here, I lost 1 health, and actually, you should have 5 parts, but I had some issues. I'm gonna change that to the 5, because in the end, you're supposed to have 5 30 hearts at maximum and 30 slots. Now you do have 30 slots available, or to be filled up in the future. But here you can only get up to 24. That was a mistake. I need to change that. But if you see here, I do this, and I click on it. Yeah, as you can see, I destroyed it, and there we go. I need to make it more obvious. I think I need to just bring this HUD, the HUD. Let's see, where could I put it? Maybe because it's. I should maybe just put it here as well, or here as well, so that it's also visible on this menu. But oh well. But here is where the whole thing, the actual mechanic. You see, what I wanted to add was some challenge. So one of the challenges is, you have all of these ingredients, you have that they give you all of these power-ups. However, you can only get so many until, or either you're completely filled up and you're full of hearts. What can you do? So what can I do to add more of a challenge? And at first I was playing with some ideas until I finally realized which one was the correct one. Sorry. And the correct one was adding a timer. And I was like, adding a timer for what exactly? For the ingredients to basically expire and disappear. And then that's when it hit. Yeah, I know what I can do. Basically, on each level, at least, because I was thinking maybe this could be as well a gameplay type, as well as the main mechanic for the main way that the game goes. Basically, when each level starts, a timer will start to count down, and to increase that timer, you can defeat enemy. Very simple. Also, I took this. You see here, the layout of the game is kind of bizarre. And if I showed you, you see, maybe you see it? No, it's not showing. Okay. Never mind. But if you saw the game before, or actually, I can just stop the video there for a moment. There. There. So, if I showed you, there's a kind of bizarre layout to the game. So you have a HUD here. This is the HUD. This is the... There's one level. This is another level. There's another level. This is a tutorial, but it's just here, kind of provisionally. To be honest, I could move it, but I have a bunch of stuff here that I really don't want to move, because so I should, all of these things should be all in a folder. I swear I had already put them there. Never mind then. But yeah. And basically it's all in a cross. Basically, you have the HUD, you have two levels up on top and on the bottom, and two levels on the right and left. I took this I took an inspiration from Atomic Crops, in which they have a similar layout. And what's procedural about each area is what you can find within. So I kind of more or less meshed the two ideas of Dead Cells and Atomic Crops and kind of made it like that. I would say I'm kind of proud of it. I think I kind of nailed it, the two ideas quite well, because at the very end, I'll show you in a minute how it is once you reach the end of each level. I wanted to as well make it so that basically the game feels kind of like you're in a world and feel quite immersive. So I thought that, so for example, you see here, you start at this lab, where it's meant to be a lab. I'll make sure that the sprite looks much better in the future. But it's meant to be a lab that you can climb up. But for now, it's just yeah. Now, this is for now just oh yeah, I have this very fun thing where basically, so if you go here, you'll be like, oh, and you just, yeah. So you jump twice and you're like, oh, I couldn't reach. So you go back, and then here you. So you fall here. When you go back, you're like, oh, what happened? So what I wanted to do to make the game feel kind of immersive was, instead of I guess the tutorial level just talking to you like some random person, instead it's you yourself, or I guess the character in the past looking to you right now in the future, or to herself in the future, where basically the character is trying to, you know, recollect how to do things correctly. So there. No, you're. So that I added a small flair to all of the notes. to make them sound like yourself talking, or the character is talking to herself. There was something else that I did is add some secret areas in the tutorial level already. Some are just to, they're mainly to basically. Oh, sorry, it's calling. Hello? Ah, I hope you're here still. Well, if anyone's here in the end. Oh gosh, I'm 7 minutes. Well, about to be 8 minutes over the time. Gosh, I didn't want this to take so long. Oh well, sorry. Um. Okay, another. Oh wait, no, it's random. Huh. Strange. Oh well. Um. One, two. And then. There we go. One, two. There we go. Oh, I got hit. Oh fuck. Oh, sorry. I didn't want to. I didn't want to swear. My bad. Oh. Maybe I should get those ingredients again today. Ah well. Never mind. Oh yeah. By the way, the idea of the character attacking with her hair comes from two influences. One, it's from basically that witches were said to have the witch's hair is always supposed to have, or a witch's hair is supposed to have some magical properties on their own. That's why their hair is very important. And as well, I took this from a little game called Shantae. Yeah, I mean, to be honest as well, the reason why her name, now if you saw maybe on the description, her name is Miyako Takoyaki, and that's a nod to her influence as being basically a magical girl. That's what she basically is. And as well that and as well because her hair is meant to look kind of like takoyaki, that kind of reason I suppose. It's kind of funny. That's why she's a redhead, because she's supposed to look kind of like an octopus, kind of. She kind of looks more like this with end bits. Her hair looks more like scorpion's things, now I think about it. Well, I would say this. I'm gonna work on better with making the sprites look better, the animation, so it's more fluid. Yeah. But well. So an idea that I had was I wanted to make the world feel more immersive. So one of the ideas was for you to actually, instead of just having to choose, you kind of I wanted to make it so like it feels like you can go. So I think instead of a door here, I mean I didn't want to add too many doors. I think what I'm gonna do instead, if I'm gonna make it so that, for example, if you want to go to the village, just drop down into the village. Yeah, kind of like that. That was more or less my. I think I'm gonna try to do that in the future. It's gonna be very easy to do because you can sort of already do that when going instead to the village, to the geyser. Just jump as high as possible. Okay, so up you go, and then where am I? Geyser. Okay, and then now that everything starts. Ah. Yeah, 15 seconds. Oh god, yeah, those guys, the thing about them is they're the easiest to kill, but they're also the fastest and the more... They're the fastest and more, I would say, I wanted them to feel more violence out of the bunch. Whilst the bluebird, right here, I wanted it to feel more like a hunt. And you see what I mean with the hunter. Ah, scheiße. I'm about to die. Oh gosh. The first thing that I might have to use to heal. Oh gosh. There we go. Oh yeah, something about the broom is that it's supposed to have the special ability or the special property to basically shock the enemies into basically stopping their attack. That's the main, I guess, idea with follow the broom. Oh gosh. But yeah, as you can see, yeah, that's what I meant with making it feel like a hunter. Because it can very much follow you quite well. And then this guy, basically, if it attacks, and then you move away from it... Ah, gosh. I'm about to die, oh gosh. There we go. Yep, it happened. I needed to use it. There we go. So this is what I meant with the... So this level is meant to be basically a focus on exploration. So if you want to get the most out of this level, you're gonna have to basically go around as much as possible and just see which places are the best to... Oh no, I think it glitched with this one just happened. Oh, I think I'm not gonna be able to show you. Ah, okay, hold up. Now I think I'm gonna go into menu and continue. And it's just to show you the village, basically. Okay. I would tell you this, there are some glitches. Oh, killed it right on time. Oh gosh. Oh, almost. Yeah. There we go. There's a hidden area there, yeah. Ah, gosh. It happened. Yeah, as you can see, the other one followed me back here. As you can see, each of the enemies give you different amounts of. Now it didn't make it in the end. Yeah, everything's gone now. You can see that gone. Now there is this. This is the last section of this part of the level, and it it still needs to be a bit. I mean, the thing that the game really needs is basically just have various parts of it kind of just polished a bit more. For example, here the point is that you come down here and then you explore as you go. It's meant to look like it's meant to look like a mine, like a place that has been mined out. The whole point about this area is that basically it looks like a village that is being taken over and run down to make an onsen or a bathhouse. And once I pass through here, I missed two ingredients. I think I might have missed more. Oh well. And here, you can choose where you want to go. Whether you want to drop down, want to go up. There. Then and the thing starts over again. But I think I will leave it there. You see, when if you reach the end, or actually, I might just try to get a. I have the two of them. Oh, shush. You know, if I'm gonna take one off. So if you can see here, now all of the ones that I have now are filled up. And if I was fine with this, then yeah, I could just I'm good with that. And or actually, maybe I could just try to get one more. Ah, never mind. Never mind. And I lost. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh no, that should stop. Okay, never mind then. As you can see, there are some glitches. I need to make sure that some things work. When I die, that should, you know, stop immediately. Okay. Oof. Yeah, I can see already. Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. But basically, the way that it's supposed to work is that once you reach this green part, or once you reach the last part of the last part of the level, right here, all your you get basically graded by whether you have all of your current available spaces of hearts and ingredient slots filled up, and if you have them, then you will be rewarded by increasing by having your slots and your ingredient slots and your available hit points be increased. But of course, you will have to fill them up as you go. So that's more or less where the main kind of challenge of the game comes from. And a future idea is one, I will add more sections to each of the more variation to each of the sections. I will add finally finish this area, and then next the other two areas to have them finished. I will try to make it feel more immersive, and I thought that instead of having the doors, the doors will be used more for something else, for other stuff, but it's fine. And I will and I will try to add the bosses. And here's where basically the main issue with bosses is. I will quickly tell you what is the main mechanic, and then I will be off because I'm way over the time that I wanted to be. Hour and a half. I wanted this to be a bit less, but oh well. Okay, quickly. So the way that I want it to be is that for each area there is a boss. Okay, understandable. That's the usual stuff. However, for each, I want it to be so that basically, if you want it, you could skip that boss. And you'll be like, oh, okay. And I wanted it so that basically it would increase how many, it would increase the difficulty of the game, and as well increase how much you gain from uh, from skipping that boss. However, if you are to then die, having skipped a boss and having not fought a boss, all of your unlocks will be basically lost, and you cannot set your progress until you fight a boss. That's more or less the main mechanic with the bosses. But another one is it works in tandem with the skipping of the bosses, and that's if you per se, if I go here and then I skip the boss that's for this place, and then I decide to go here, and then I decide, you know what, I'm not gonna skip the boss. I'm gonna go straight on to the next one. If you, I'm gonna go and actually fight this boss. If you do that, the boss that you just skipped will, or the boss that you skipped will go and fight with, or will fight, will join the current boss and fight you. Basically, the two of them fighting you together, which will increase the difficulty, of course. Now that's going to be extremely difficult to make it work, and I've been kind of wrecking my head into basically each boss is going to have 3 types of attacks, and if you fight them alone, they will cycle through those 3 types of attacks in until infinitum, or until you bring them down until if you I was thinking that if you can time them out, then they will just leave and you will get the reward. But if you do defeat them within the time, your reward will be higher, and you will unlock more stuff. Uh, but that will also make it so that the very last few minutes of the few minutes of the fight will be basically the boss on a rage phase of sorts. However, basically, if the boss will basically if the bosses join together, then out of those 3 attacks, they will only choose to use some specific ones that will basically combine together well with the other bosses. And I'm just trying to figure out how can I make that work logistically, so mechanically, as in, you know, each of these attacks, what do they do, how do they work, how you can avoid them, how can they mix together so that you're not too overwhelmed as the player. But as far as it goes, it's not um, it's not finished. It's very rough, and I would love if, you know, I was to find somebody who could help me with the code, and I could just focus on making sure that all the mechanics work correctly, as in, because I need to just make sure that, because the game has changed a lot, and I need to focus now on just making sure that the paperwork is all done and correct. So I'm gonna be focusing on that for now, and then I will get on to finishing off some stuff. Uh, I think the first thing that I will finish off, I will try to. I think, to be honest, I do want to. I wanted to focus on to the animations, but I've come to realize that at least gameplay wise and everything, it works fine with the animations. I just need to make sure that it's all working correctly. And for now, it's all working fairly okay. And to be honest, it would be good if I just implement the next areas to then be able to start working on implementing the bosses. So yeah, I think I'll be leaving in a moment or so. Thank you so much for anyone who's watched. I don't think anyone was here, um, but that's okay. So but I'll leave you with that in a moment. And thank you so much. This was a bit improvised. I would have liked to have this a bit more scripted, but to be honest, I was putting off this stream for way too long. I want to make this for some time, so that will be the case. Right. See ya. Bye bye.